Ensure that you're working at your own pace. Nothing is causing pain or discomfort. If you're laying down, finding your comfortable position, the head supported on the mat. If you feel you need a little pillow, a little support behind the head. The arms relaxing down the side, palms of the hands turn to face up and towards the ceiling, encouraging the front of the chest to open up and relax. Legs are straight or bent, whatever feels more comfortable for your lower back and your hips. Well, if you're seated, if you can try and sit a little bit taller, trying to create space at the front. So encouraging the belly to move with the breath, making sure that the diaphragm doesn't feel as if it's squashed and compressed at the front, and then you're forcing yourself to breathe apically, to breathe through the collarbones, through the top of the chest, to see if I can maintain that space. And then as you're laying down, as you're sitting up, or just doing a little scan on how the body feels. Do I feel straight? Do I feel wonky? Do I feel slightly twisted? Does one shoulder feels higher than the other? Is my head centered or slightly off to the side? I'm not changing anything. I'm just trying to feel how the body is today to begin with. And then focusing on the breath as well. See if you can try and find that nice, relaxed, the belly breath. So feeling the inhalation, inflating the belly, and the exhalation, deflating and relaxing. So I'm not trying to actively push the belly out. I'm just letting the diaphragm descend down into the belly on the inhalation, creating that intra-abdominal pressure that is going to make the belly pop out, that is going to make the belly expand. And then as it lifts up on the exhalation, it's just going to relax everything back. So maintaining that breath going, once that you feel a little bit calmer, a little bit more settled, then focusing on the shoulders, they're focusing on the neck. I'm going to start shrugging the shoulders up to the head. So I'm going to elevate the shoulders, and then I'm going to depress them, press them down and away. So I'm going to pull them up to the head, pull them up to my ears, and then I'm going to press them down and away. I'm going to pull them up and then press them down. As I keep the movement going, so noticing the tension into the neck every time that I shrug the shoulders, noticing that gentle stretch down the side of the neck every time that I press the shoulders down. Noticing difference between the right and the left side. I might find that one shoulder is easier to depress than the other. It almost feels as if one shoulder is going further down than the other. Again, see if I can try and create a nice even movement, as even as possible, that is not causing pain. 3, 2, last one. Keeping the shoulders depressed, so see if I can try and keep the neck long. I'm going to start to protracting them. I'm going to start to pulling them forward, and then I'm going to push them back. So if you're laying down, I'm going to pull them forward as much as I can. As I push them back, imagine to be tucking the shoulders underneath the rib cage. So I'm going to try and squeeze the shoulder blades together and really trying to get the muscles in the middle of the back between the shoulders to activate. And then I'm going to squeeze them forward, see if I can try and open up, stretch those muscles, feeling a little bit more tension across the front of the chest. If I'm seated up, exactly the same. As I retract, I'm going to picture the shoulders hiding behind the rib cage. And then as I protract, I'm going to pull them forward, see if I can try and get them as close together at the front as I possibly can. They will tend to sneak up to your head, to sneak up to your ears. See if you can, as much as possible, keep the shoulders down. So making sure that the neck is not getting tight on the side, it's not stiffening on the side. 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, relaxing the shoulders and releasing the upper back. And then I'm going to start focusing a little bit more on the shoulder joint. So one arm at a time, I'm going to start going for a front raise. So I'm going to raise the arm up to the front. I'm going to go as far up as I feel comfortable, as I feel in control. And then I'm just going to ease the arm back. Then with the other side, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to lift. I'm going to reach it back as far as I can. And then I'm going to return it back by the side. So again, see if you can picture the arm moving into the shoulder socket. So it doesn't matter if it's only a little movement, but see if I can just be aware of the arm moving into the shoulder socket, making sure that the lift is not creating tension into the upper body. So especially if I'm seated up, that the arm is heavier to lift because I'm working against the gravity, making sure that I'm not exaggerating, and then leaning to the side and then stiffening and tensing to get the arm higher. So see if I can try and find a nice relax the lift to come back, a nice relax the lift the other way and come back. I can even use the other arm to help me. So I'm going to lift the arm as high as I feel comfortable, and then maybe using the other arm to help me come up a little bit higher, but still in a relaxed way. If I'm laying down, there is no gravity pulling me down, so the movement should be feeling quite easy, unless the shoulder is stiff, unless you feel that it's pinching, is catching. 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders, releasing the upper back. It's a little bit more movement into the shoulder. I'm going to change the direction. From a front raise, I'm going to go into a lateral raise. So I'm going to open the arm to the side. I'm going to bring it round and towards the head. And then I'm going to take it back. And then same with the other side, scooping the arm around, taking it towards the head, and then coming back in reverse. On the lateral raise, it's more likely that the shoulder might start clicking. It's more common that the shoulder might start clicking. So if the shoulder clicks at the point where the shoulder clicks, which is normally exactly the same point each time, I'm just going to slow down and then playing with the alignment of the arm. So just turning the hand slightly and then see if I can try and find a better fit between the top of the arm and the shoulder socket, just to see if I can try and avoid that clicking, see if I can avoid that little catching every time that the arm moves. 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the arms. I've got a little bit more movement. I'm going to try and see if I can work with a little bit of coordination. So with one arm, I'm going to go for a lateral raise. With one arm, I'm going to go with the front for the front raise. So with my right arm, I'm going to go to the front. With my left arm, I'm going to open to the side. So I'm going to go right to the front, left to the side. I'm going to ease back, and then I'm going to swap left to the front, right to the side, and then swapping again. So one reaches straight forward, one swings to the side, coming back, one reaches straight forward, one swings to the side, and then straight back. It's a little movement again, big movement, it doesn't matter, just to see if I can try and keep the two directions, the two movements going at the same time. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, you're doing great, Alison. Last one, and releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the arms. This is a little bit more movement through the shoulder. I'm going to try and see if I can work through the neck a little bit more, see if I can try and get some rotation. So I'm just going to test the rotation, the movement around the neck. So I'm going to keep the arms nice and relaxed. I'm going to start turning the head gently from side to side. And then same as usual, notice the movement. I might find that one side feels stiffer than the other. On one side, I might find that the shoulder tend to sneak back a little or compensate a little. It might catch us slightly on one side, well, might not catch on the other side. So see if I can keep it loose, see if I can keep it relaxed. And then as I keep it going, it might feel a little bit looser. So it might turn a little bit better. I might even be able to go a little bit further into the rotation, but without creating pain, without forcing. 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Then I'm going to go a little side to side. So I'm going to drop the right ear down to the right shoulder. That's my bell, doorbell. So ignore it. It's just a little music. So nice and easy, side to side. Encouraging a gentle stretch down the side of the neck, from the ear down to the top of the shoulder. 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. So I know roughly which direction feels tighter, where I feel restricted. I'm going to try and see if I can do a little hack to free the neck, free the head a little bit more. I'm going to place the right hand behind, sorry, the left hand behind the head. So I'm just going to cap the middle of the head, the back of the head. So I want the fingers to feel the back of the skull right in the middle. I'm going to keep the hand there, and then keeping the head facing straight forward, straight ahead. I'm just going to start moving the right arm out to the side. As the arm starts waving to the side, see if you can follow it with the corner of your eye. So I'm going to keep looking at the right arm as it's moving out and then back up again. It's a little wave, nice and relaxed. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, releasing the right arm, releasing the left. I'm just going to give the shoulders a little bit of a roll, switching side. With the right hand, I'm going to cup the back of the head, and then with the corner of the eye, watching that left hand as it's moving up and down to the side. I'm just going to keep my gaze to the side, but without turning the head to the side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing down. Relaxing the arms, bringing the arms back by the side. Same as before, I'm going to test my rotation again. So turning the head to look around one side, and then turning to look the other way. So noticing if there is a difference, if it feels a bit easier, maybe being able to turn a little bit further. 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back to the center. Then retesting the lateral flexion, one ear down to the shoulder, and then down the other way. And then again, noticing if it feels any easier. or harder to move it side to side. 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Returning the head back to the middle. Neck should be feeling a little bit looser. I'm going to start moving down into the back a little bit more. See if I can start from the lumbar spine, from the lower back with a little pelvic tilt. So I'm going to tilt the pelvis back. I'm going to press the lower back gently into the mat and then tilting it forward and then back into neutral. So I'm going to tilt back, trying to create a little roundness into the lower back and then forward. See if I can try and create a little roundness the other way. So see if I can think of the movement happening at the base of the spine, just the gentle rocking front to back. Feeling the belly tensing to create that little tilt back, and then the back tensing to create the little extension forward. So tilting back, back into neutral, tilting back, back into neutral. So maintaining that gentle rocking, guys. The belly is active, the shoulders and the neck, upper body nice and relaxed. I'm going to try and focus a little bit more on the right side. So see if you can think of tilting the pelvis, but working from the right side a little bit more than the left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then a little tilt, but focusing on the left side more. So feeling that left side of the belly shortening and contracting a little bit more than the right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and easing back to the middle, resetting the hips to the center, and then from a forward and backward tilt, I'm going to go for a little hip hitch. So pulling the right hip up towards the right side of the rib cage. I'm going to try and hitch the right hip up, then pulling that left hip towards the left side of the rib cage. I'm going to hitch up on the left side. So if I'm seated, I'm trying to picture the seat bend, trying to pull away from the chair and then dropping back onto the chair. If I'm lying down, I'm just going to keep the hips flat against the floor, but see if I can encourage a gentle rocking side to side. So noticing if there is any more movement to go on one side than the other, noticing the strength on the side of the belly. I might find that one side it feels a little bit stronger, so it seems to be able to be pulling up a little bit more efficiently, a little bit better. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Bring the hips back to the center. Lower back should be feeling a little bit looser. I'm going to start getting the legs involved too. So starting off with a little knee drop. I'm going to walk the feet nice and close together, the knees nice and close together. And then I'm going to start opening the right leg out to the right. And then bring it back together to the middle. And the left leg goes to the left. And then back to the middle again. So right goes right. And then closes back. and then left goes left, and then coming back. If you're lying down, same as usual, imagine that tennis ball balancing the center of the belly. See if I can keep the hips still, keep the hips level, making sure that they don't start rocking side to side so the ball doesn't roll off to the side. If you're sitting up, it's a little bit easier as your seat bones are planted on the chair, they're planted on the floor, so they won't move. So the movement has to come from the leg. But same as usual, if I feel that the leg doesn't respond very well, I'm just going to use the hand to help me. So I'm just going to push it out to encourage the opening, and I might need to push it back in to encourage the closing again. If you're happy enough with the movement and you feel that you can progress it slightly, then I'm going to try and see if I can move the knee and the foot. So I'm going to move the foot and the knee out to the right, and then I'm going to bring them back to center. Then the foot and the knee out to the left, and then bring them back to center. So if you're sitting up, I'm just opening one leg a little bit wider than the other. If I'm lying down, I'm going to try and take the foot and the knee up to the same point or out to the same point, and then I'm going to close them back. So I'm going to open and then close. So if I'm moving the foot as well as the knee, the leg results a little bit heavier. The belly has to work a little bit harder to help me stabilize the hips, to stabilize the pelvis. So the hips don't start to suddenly rocking left and right, twisting side to side. So nice and stable through the hips, a little movement to the right, coming back, and a little opening to the left, and then coming back. 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, giving the legs a little shake, relaxing the hips, releasing the inner thigh. I'm going to bring the feet nice and close together, allow the soles of the feet to come together if you're lying down, and then let the knees open out. So I'm just going to get a little inner thigh release, allowing gravity to pull the legs down, making sure that the lower back feels flat against the floor so that there is no arching, no compressing. If I'm seated up, unfortunately, I can't use gravity, so I might use my hands. I'm just going to push the knees out to see if I can encourage a little bit of a tension, a little bit of a stretch through the inner thigh, inside of the leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Bring the legs back to the middle, releasing through the hips. I'm going to change the direction of the movement from lateral movement. I'm going to try and go into a front and back. So I'm going to try and get into a little knee lift. I'm going to repeat on the same leg. So same as usual, if you know that the leg is a little bit temperamental, so it doesn't move very well, doesn't respond very well, I'm just going to set the band behind that leg so that I can control it with the arms. And then I'm just going to start lifting one leg up, and then I'm just going to put it down. I might be able to lift it completely, I might not be able to lift it, it doesn't matter. Same as usual, see if you can be aware of the head of the femur, the top of the leg, the top of the thigh, just moving gently up and down into the hip socket. So see if I can try and loosen up the joint, to see if I can try and create a little bit more movement, lubricating the joint in a slightly different direction. So I'm going to lift and lower, lift and lower. Noticing the direction of the leg as it's lifting. I might find that it tends to drift across. I might find that it tends to wander off to the side. See if you can imagine a little pencil strapped to the knee. Think of a straight line in front of you with that pencil. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. And releasing back, releasing the hip, relaxing the leg. I'm going to try the same thing to the other side. So switching the band around to the other leg if you're using the band. And then I'm going to try the same thing to the other leg. So I'm going to try and gradually pick up that foot to pick up that leg. And then I'm just going to ease it back down. Same as I did on the other side. Just to think of that little movement up and down of the top of the thigh into the hip socket. So see if I can encourage a little release into the hip that might be feeling really locked, really heavy, really stiff. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back, releasing the hip, releasing the leg, relaxing the arms as well. If you were pulling on the legs, they might feel a bit tired, a little bit fatigued. And then this time I'm going to try and see if I can open up through the front of the hip, front of the thigh. So if you're lying down, I'm going to extend my right leg away, and then I'm going to try and pull the left up into the chest. So with the right leg, I'm going to try and reach down the mat. With the left, I'm going to try and pull and hug that left leg towards me. If I'm seated up, I'm just going to keep that left leg bent. And then the right leg, I'm going to try and push it back as far as I can. See if I can, almost as if I were wanting to come off the chair and kneel my way down. I'm trying to create as much opening through the front of the hip as possible. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to ease that right leg back. I'm going to keep that right leg bent, and then I'm going to try and slip the left behind to see if I can create a nice opening into the front of that left hip. If I'm lying down, I'm going to hug my right knee into the chest, and then I'm going to try and extend that left leg away, see if I can encourage a nice opening into the front of the hip. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, relaxing the legs, adjusting the hips, adjusting the back. And then I'm going to go back into the back and then gradually returning towards the arms. So finding a comfortable position for the arms, I'm going to bring the feet and the knees nice and close together, and then I'm going to start rotating gently from side back to the center and then over to the other side. Back to the center and then over to the other side. So imagine to have a band tied around the knees. So the legs are moving together. I'm going to try and push them over to one side and then push them over the other. If I'm seated, as I'm sitting on the hips, it's harder to get that rotation going. So to make it a little bit better, a little bit easier, with the opposite arm, I'm going to reach across to the leg, and then pushing the legs to the side, I'm going to turn and look away. Then come back to the middle, pushing the legs to the side, I'm going to turn and look away the other way. So it's a little bit more torsion, a little bit more rotation into the back. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Returning the legs back to the middle, adjusting the feet, adjusting the knees and the hips. And then I'm going to go back into the upper body and the arms. This time, raising both arms up to the front, clasping my hands together or keeping them apart. I'm going to start rotating from the top of the body only. So I'm going to swing the arms around one side, come back to the center, and then swing them the other way. So from one side to the other, nice and easy swing, nice and easy rotation. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders, releasing the upper back. It's a little bit more movement at the top. I'm going to go back into the legs at this time, see if I can get a little bit more work down through the inner thigh. So grabbing hold of the ball of the pillow, and then I'm just going to put the pillow between the knees. I can even use my hands if I don't have a pillow or anything. I'm just going to clench the fist and then just pop it between the legs, just as something to press on. And then I'm going to start to squeeze into the ball, into the pillow. Then I'm going to ease that pressure. And then again, I'm going to squeeze and release. I don't need a massive tension, so I'm not trying to push too hard. What I want is just a little connection into the right and the left inner thigh. So just a little tension. I can feel the pillow squashing. I can feel the ball being squashed, and then I'm going to ease that tension. And then same as usual, comparing the tension between the right and the left side. Does it look as if one leg is just keeping still and then the other leg is pushing across? So it's only one leg that is doing the work. Can I try and focus on the one that doesn't seem to be working very well? Can I maybe encourage it with a hand? So can I try and encourage it to find the tension to go in, to drive into the ball? And then I'm going to ease that tension back. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. I'm going to press and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Is the pressure. Try again. Press and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is the pressure. Last time. Press and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, releasing the tension, relaxing the hips of the inner thighs. I'm going to have the legs. I'm going to let the legs have a little rest and then focusing on the muscles across the front of the chest. So this time I'm going to put the ball between the hands, palm of the hands, or the cushion there. I can even push my hands together. It doesn't really matter. And then making sure that the wrist stays straight. So I'm not extending the wrist. So I'm not creating pressure through the wrist joint. I'm trying to keep it straight with the back of that, in line with the back of the hand. I'm going to start squeezing the ball, squeezing the pillow between the hands. Then I'm going to ease the pressure, and then I'm going to squeeze it again. Ease the pressure, and then squeeze it again. So this time, see if I can be aware of tension across the front of the chest, and just a little tension around the back of the armpit, around the back of the shoulders. So it's the chest muscles, but it's also the lats muscles, the big muscles that runs from the arm down towards the middle of the back, activating to create that squeeze. Noticing if you tend to shrug the shoulders, notice that if you tend to bring the tension up into the neck, see if I can, same as I did in the warm-up, depress the shoulders, pressing the shoulders down and away as I'm squeezing into the ball. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to hold the pressure. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Is the pressure. Try again. Press and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is the pressure. Last time. Press and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, relaxing the arms. I'm going to reverse the effort from the inside. I'm going to try and see if I can keep my focus or get my focus on the outside of the legs. So if I'm seated, I'm just going to put the band around the knees. I'm going to tie a little knot to put a little bow around so that the band doesn't come undone. I can even hold it with the hands. If you're lying down, you can do the same. So staying on your back and tie the band around the knees, or you can roll over onto the side, in which case you don't need the band, and then you're going to set yourself into climb. So whichever position works better for your legs or for your back. If I'm on the side, I'll be working on the top leg. I'll be going to open and close, trying to get into the side of the hip or side of the bum. If I'm seated up, I'm still going to be working on one leg. So I'm going to hold one leg nice and still. And then with the other leg, I'm going to try and pull out onto the band. Then I'm going to ease back. And then again, I'm going to try and pull out. So same as you did for the push in, same as you did with the ball. It doesn't matter if I can't push very far, but see if I can just be aware of the little tension increasing into the band and then decreasing as I'm coming back. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, I'm going to hold that tension out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Giving the hip a little tap, relaxing the leg, releasing the hip. If you're lying on your side, rolling over onto the other side, we're going to repeat the climb on the other side. If I'm seated up, if I'm lying on the back, I'm just going to make sure that the back is still in neutral. And then when I'm ready to do so, I'm going to start opening the other leg out to the side and then coming back. So see if I can find a little bit more connection into the side of the hip, into the side of the bum of this leg, of this side. Especially if you're lying on your side, see if you can be aware of the hips are staying nice and steady. So making sure that it's not my hips are rolling forward and back, that are pulling the leg. I can feel the leg moving into the hip socket. The same as I did before. See if you can think of the hip joint articulating, moving a little. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, I'm going to hold it out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, giving the hip a little tap, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. When you're ready, rolling over onto the back. I'm going to try and do the same, reversing the effort, working on the arms. So this time, instead of focusing on the front of the chest, I want to focus on the back of the shoulders. So I'm going to grab hold of my band again. And then I'm going to hold the band to about shoulder width apart and maybe a little bit wider, especially if the band is quite tough to use. Then I'm going to raise the arms in front of me and then taking a deep breath in. As I breathe out, I'm going to try and stretch the band out. So see if you can think of the back of the shoulders and the middle of the back working to create that pull. Then I'm going to ease that tension, come back to the middle. And then again, I'm going to pull out to see if I can try and squeeze through the shoulders, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then easing back. 3, opening and closing. 4, and back. 5, shoulders are still down, the neck is still free and loose. 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Easing the tension from the band, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, reaching the right arm straight ahead in front of you. With the left arm going to hook either above or below the elbow joint. So I'm not locking the elbow joint. I'm going to hug the right arm nice and close to the chest until I can feel a nice stretch going around the back of the shoulder towards the middle of the back. Holding that stretch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. So swapping the arm. The left, I'm going to hug it towards me. See if I can get the stretch again around the back of the shoulder towards the middle of the back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Releasing the shoulders, relaxing the arms. If you're lying down, rolling over onto your side, and in your own time, pushing yourself up into sitting, finding your comfortable seated position. So using the arms to help me support myself, leaning against something if I know that I can't sit very straight, it doesn't feel very comfortable, the legs are as relaxed as possible. And then once you feel that the body is set, that the legs are in that comfortable position, see if you can start focusing on the back. I'm going to try and open up the front of the body. So I'm going to try and extend first. So I'm going to exaggerate. I'm going to push the breastbone forward, and then I'm going to start lifting it up. I'm going to lift the chin, lengthening the front of the throat. I'm going to try and look up, look back, opening the front of the body. And then I'm just going to release and come forward, letting the chin drop down to the chest. So think of opening the back of the neck, and then allowing the shoulders and the upper body to round and fall forward until I can feel a gentle opening all the way down into the lower back. Then I'm curling back up again. I'm going to extend my way through, looking forward, looking up, looking back, trying to create as much lift to the front of the body as I can. And then releasing, coming forward, rolling down, dropping down until you feel that you're comfortable with the back. Last time, I'm curling all the way back up, extending your way through, as much space as you can going up. And then release and coming forward. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your bow. Give yourself a clap. Well done. Any question or anything as usual, please say. Remember, you need to unmute yourself.